So welcome back. So again, guys, I'm gonna put a question out there to you. Actually, let me just remind you, the phone lines are open. I don't hold anything back. If you have something to say, you want to call us, call us. I'm happy to dialogue with you. Thanks for the text, though. I do have a number of texts. We're going to get to those in a minute. So the question is, again, on the cruise ship development, the airport development, the type of development we have. There was a long commentary question by one of our local superstars, you know, a young lady. She ran for politics in the last general election, and she posed a few questions online. So it's worthwhile reading it, checking it out, and then answer those questions for yourself. But I'm going to put a question to you guys tonight. Do you feel that the developments are good? Tell us how you feel. The minister wants you guys to speak out. I mean, he made that very clear just recently in a taxi meeting. He said to the taxi guys, he said, you're not saying anything for, you're not saying anything against, you know, for God's sake, he wants you to at least say something. So if we don't say anything, then obviously, you know, if I'm pushing something and I say to you it's good, and you don't say no, it's not good, you know, and vice versa. If I say it's bad and you don't say no, it's good, then obviously I'm going to go with what I want to go with. So how do you guys feel about the development? Do you understand it? Some people still say they need more information. How do you feel? Do you feel you need more information? Do you really think that we need these development? If you ask most of us who are out here in the field every day, it's slow season right now. I mean, there's nobody in the island. You know, you got a few people in Long Bay, and you know, a few people, you know, around in different villas and so forth. But overall, the country is dry. It's dead. There's no cruise ship. There's no land base. What are we supposed to do? How does the country move forward without money circulating in the economy? I mean, I was in Jost Van Dyke on Monday. And over in Jost Van Dyke, there's about, you know, 5 large catamaran from St. Thomas, St. John. Each one of them had at least 20, 25, 30 people on them. I mean, there's something happening in St. Thomas that is not happening here. So what do we do? How do we move forward? So that's the question I posed to you guys. All right. So just to get back to a text, this person asks, could we have built it ourselves? Why do we need a middleman? Could we have built it ourselves? Perhaps, I don't know. Like I said, I can take this one to my grave. I sat down with Cyril Romney years ago, and Cyril Romney had a deal on the table. I don't remember which government was in, and he had his investors. He had access to credit. They were asking for similar deals like this, and he was a local investor. So could we have built it? I don't know. I only want to assume that we have people here in the country that have access to credit. I mean, that's really what you need, is access to credit. You don't need liquid cash. I mean, when you think about some of these fancy financing that goes on in the world, I mean, there was just a big purchase in England, I think last year, the year before, where one of the football teams were bought out. And if you don't understand the deal was so simple. These guys actually borrowed money from the team or from the company that was selling the team. They loaned the money to the buyer, so the buyer can in turn pay the owner back the money to buy the company with interest. That's called leverage. That's leveraging. That's how you leverage a leverage buyout or investment buyout. I don't know. I mean, let's think about it. Could we have do things like that here? I'm sure we can. We're sitting on billions of dollars in this country right now. You know, you got trust companies in here that deals with all kinds of money management funds. So let's get to the phone real quick. Go ahead, you want to speak your mind? Go ahead, please.
Good night, Sam. How are you doing?
Good night. I'm good, Jenna. Yourself?
I didn't see you come out to the mango thing yesterday.
I was right there, but I can't eat too much mango.
Okay.
I
mean, like, comment. I didn't see you though.
No, I was there. I saw you though.
Okay. But yeah. my concern was the teachers them that were teaching for the development of youth affairs and sports, the pants they had on was so short under the bottom. I think them should have dressed a little more better, you know what I mean, around them children.
You saying it was a little too loose?
It was too tight and it was up under the bottom. There ain't no way, them people I need to dress more decent and carry themselves more appropriate as teachers teaching young children.
I understand.
It did not look good at all. And that was not the place for that.
I understand.
Okay?
I didn't notice it.
I noticed it.
Well,
I noticed it.
I'm glad you're able to bring that to their attention, though.
You know,
now,
I think they need to have rules and regulations for them when they're teaching these children, a dress code and everything.
Yeah, I think the minister's probably working on that right now. He's a sharp guy. He's ahead of the curve on most of this stuff. So maybe there is a dress code coming. You know, some maybe more of a uniform. But let me ask you a question. I saw an article in the paper. Was that you they were talking about, local craft person
yes.
hoping to do something on a cruise ship? What was that all about?
No, that was me trying to have a resource center and do things like non-profit organization, help the prisoners. Like, you know, you have people up there in prison, maybe owe like $1,000 child support. Teach them to like make hats and make different things, and the money go treasury, and then eventually pay the tutor.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's brilliant
That's
idea.
have them up their laptop as if them is criminals. And then they have the special need children that coming out with nothing. I'll be able to teach them little skills and, you know what I mean, so they could fend for themselves.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? I have a brother and he's a special need. He's 18. You know what I mean? And my mother done getting up in her age. My mother have to be working on now to help him. But if he learn a skill, he'll be able to fend for himself and she wouldn't have to be worrying maybe, Lord, if a gun, what going to happen to him? You know that kind of way?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, no,
and a woman and something to do with woman empowerment, to empower women. You know, there's women in Africa that I speak to online because you know ain't got nobody here for me to speak to when they talking about knitting because there's so much people into that. So I speak to people, you know, across the world who does it, and I meet up with some women in Africa, and this is how they're doing to help themselves. You know what I mean? They're making 3,000-4,000 hats a day and selling them in the States. And I feel like we could do something like that here.
Yeah, so you kind of you mean that they making a product and somebody's helping them to sell it on the market?
Yes. Yes.
And you can buy the stuff through the internet?
Huh?
You can buy the stuff through the internet?
Yes.
Okay.
It's some white man that went in Africa and teach them the skill, and them is the one that put their stuff on the market.
Well, maybe when this new development come in, and you hopefully get close to it, some of your products can be marketed that way too.
Yeah, because it was a good turnout yesterday, and I get a lot of good feedbacks, and people, you know, I had like the whole vibes about it. You know, everybody supported everybody, and you know, nobody wasn't jealous or nobody. It was just a nice vibe. No. I had loved to see the other people's products, and you know, I said it's like Moko Jumbi and Tatola is only one time we getting to come out.
Yeah.
You know, the real people, the real craft people. That's who I see yesterday, real craft.
Well, I saw Shabazz on TV giving a demonstration for GIS TV, and he was really good. You know,
yeah.
So I mean, mango smoothie, I like it once in a while, but mangoes is a strong stuff. You gotta be careful drinking or eating all that mango. So,
okay.
But the fair was nice. I mean, I did pass by there. I stopped there for a little bit. A friend of mine was driving some school kids, chit chat with him, and I just kind of look in, you know. But I'm not a big mango eater all day. So if I get around mango, I might want to eat some. So.
Yeah, my children went in the mango eating competition, and they all won. You take care of yourself, Sam. Okay.
I appreciate it. Thank you for calling.
Bye.
There you go. So if you didn't get a chance to go and experience the Mango Fest, according to Dakala, it was a good event. Something you missed, that was nice. I think this was the 3rd annual Mango Fest, if I'm not mistaken. So just back to where we were, text. Carla wanted to know if why do we need a middleman? You know, different government have different strategies and different approach. I don't think we had a middleman on this one. I think the minister just took it and ran with it. I mean, he saw the need to try to get this going, and he's in front. I mean, he's on, you know, going up to Miami and, you know, conversing with the people that he needs to converse with. And, you know, we do have something to look at. You have a plan, even if it's not all in our favor. It'll never all be in our favor, but at least you had something to look at, and that's what we've been getting for the past few weeks now. This one asks, what if the ship upsize again and there's no room and they demand more room? I think the one we have now, the two big ones, the Law of the Sea and the Law of the Sea and the other one, Royal Caribbean ship. If this dock is to that specification, where those ships, any one of them can come in to that dock, then I think you're probably where you're going to be for another 20, 30 years. I can't imagine them ships getting any bigger than that one. You know, you're talking about 5,400 or 600 people, passengers, and then another 2,000 or 3,000 or 4,000 crew. So that's a lot. So let's get to the phone real quick. I just missed you guys. Just call me right back. This one asks, this is a question about, text about the hospital services. Can we accommodate any emergencies if something does happen? Let's get to the phone. You're on Speak Your Mind. Go ahead, please.
Sam, good night.
Good night. How are you?
What's up?
I hear you're trying to live good.
Listen, speak to the issue of what the minister relates to, of what he claims is the fact that had he never jumped on it as quick as he jumped on it, we could have possibly lose a lot. Now, presently, as you see, there's no ships coming. Even if this was the cruise ship season is expected to start sometime in October. And even at the point in time, we're not going to see well half as much as we saw before. And that's because of the lack of preparation. I mean, that's the way I understand it. So the minister is saying that had he never jumped on it as far as he jumped on it, first start getting some ships as soon as possible, down the road we could have been in trouble. Now, a lot of persons are saying, why so quick, why so fast, why don't we take our time? Speak to the issue of whether or not it is important to go now or wait till later. Thank you.
Thank you, Carla, for that call. Obviously, the caller wants my opinion on this one. I think when it relates to the development of the cruise ship port, the minister acted good. I support the minister's effort going out there and going after the cruise ship. I mean, I was on the last tourist board, and I remember the minute we got in, as soon as the tourist board was put into place, I remember going up to Leverick Bay and having a meeting with about 8 or 9 cruise ship heads of cruise ship, including Michelle Page, who's in charge of the FCCA, you know, the association of most of those cruise ships that you see come in here. I think it's about 14 cruise liners. So, you know, even then, this was 4 or 5 years ago, I sat down, I listened, and I heard Michelle Page say, you know, if we don't act, if we don't do certain things, meaning, you know, improve the facilities, create more areas where tourists can go. She outlined maybe 5 or 6 things that were very important, you know, for us to sustain the cruise industry. And so, yeah, I think the minister is right in his position to go after it. I don't always buy the argument, though, that it's a gun pointing at your head, that, you know, if you don't act, if you don't move, you could be shot. I don't always bite that argument, but I do support the fact that the minister went out and do what he had to do to try to get the cruise ships in. We do need cruise ship in this country. Without cruise ship, the land-based tourism that we have is not enough to sustain the entire BVI. I mean, when you think about the people that come here outside a cruise ship, most of them come and sail. And if they're sailing around Tortola, obviously Tortola, where the majority of people living, are not, eating. I mean, there's only so much they can do. They'll buy grocery, they'll do a few things, they'll take a taxi around town, they'll probably shop at a restaurant. But at the end of the day, when they leave for 5-6 days, they take all that money and energy with them, and they take it someplace else. It's still part of the territory, but again, on Tortola itself, it's not the best, idea. So the minister did, I think, the right thing. Yeah, you have to go after the cruise ship. No, because I don't always say that it's our fault. Let's be real about it. The cruise line business is billions and billions of dollars industry. One man owns most of those ships out there. His name is Mickey Harrison. He owns Carnival Cruise Line. And although those ships, they compete against one another for a destination, they also work together. They work together on different areas and different ideas. They work together on trying to save each other's money. They compete for a destination like they're their own bosses. They're their own everything. Nobody else owns them. But at the end of the day, when a destination is negotiating, whether we want to believe that or not, you're negotiating with Disney or Carnival or whoever, somewhere along the line, your information is being shared as to what it is you're proposing, what you're offering, and they looking at how can they marginalize you, how they can minimize you, so they can maximize on everything. So, if you go into any negotiation and you keep saying, well, we don't have anything, we didn't offer anything, we didn't have to put up anything, to me, you pretty much shooting yourself in the foot. I'm a firm believer, and I ain't gonna never change this, because all the statistics on the cruise ship blogs, you can go on CILA or CLIA website.com. That's a industry that controls and is front of most of what's happening in the cruise industry. Or you can go on an FCCA website, Florida Caribbean Cruise Association website. When you go on the site, there's a thing called Statistics and Report. You can go in there and look at all the statistics about cruise industry, and they'll tell you the number one thing that a customer look for when he's booking a cruise is a destination. A destination, in our case, is an island. Without the destination, cruise industry is dead. Don't let nobody fool you talking about, oh, they're going to go here. They run into a destination. If they don't come to the BVI, they're going to another place. They're going to another place because they're able to give in based on the demand. If all the islands in the Caribbean were holding one head, like the cruise industry holding one head, we wouldn't have to be going through all these back and forth things. The cruise ship will respect our destination, they will do their part, and we will do our part, and together we will both be profitable, and we'll both benefit. So, I mean, again, my good friend, I support the minister's effort. Yes, some of this stuff been on the table for a long time, and the cruise liners were probably threatening to pull out completely. We saw that. I mean, some of them did reduce their ships called to the BVI. Some of them completely stopped coming. We know since some of the last proposal that were put on the table, some of them said they're not coming back until, simple things like those tents that were in front of the gate. Lack of security around the ships, lack of destination on island, off island, around the BVI. Fees were too high, things like that. So yeah, we took the right step, in my judgment. If I had to make the call myself, I would probably be doing the same thing. But even though I going after the business, I'm not going after the business blindsided. I ain't going after the business pretending like I don't have value. We got a lot of value in this country, and we got to stop telling ourselves that we don't have any value, that what we have is worth nothing. It's worth a lot. If you understand your value, then you know where you stand. You have strength in your negotiation. And when you negotiate on behalf of the country, the people in the country, the government, and long-term sustainability. So, yeah, the minister did the right thing. I mean, he had to go, he had to do what he had to do. If what he's telling us is the truth, let's all support that. But now that we have the cruise industry attention. We got investors who are willing to invest their own money in our country. Let's see how we can benefit the most. Let's see how the people, the child who's 5, who's 6, who's 7, by the time he's 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, that he's already working in the process, he's already in the business, he's already owning the different stores and so forth, and he can pass down that business to his children. I'll show you something why I say that. We got people in this country, just think about this for example. The gentleman who used to own most of that land up there, Brandywine Bay, all the way around, I think it's called the Crips. I think that's who it was. That man done passed and gone. And everything he owned, everything he still owns, you know, his grandkids are running it. So if you take a page out of their book, why can't we do the same thing? Why can't we think on that level? Hey, this his grandson is running his estate, and they're still around, the name's still around, they still own prime land in the BVI. They're going to build $1 million mansions now and $1 million homes to rent and so forth. So why can't we think about that in that manner when we talk about going to invest? All right, so we still got a few more texts. As soon as we come back off the break, I'll get back to those texts.